We are less than 24 hours away, ladies and gentlemen, to the NFL cutdown time, where teams will have to go from 90 players all the way down to the 53-man roster. And the Titans, they're making some cuts already, 16 to be exact. So we'll take a look at every single cut they have made before Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Time. Welcome to Titans Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper. And just a quick recap on just what happened on Friday's game. The Titans finished the preseason 23-13 over the Minnesota Vikings. Brandon Allen played a solid game, 1 touchdown. He's going to be probably your QB2. Big bounce back for Van Jefferson, 3 catches, 102 yards. He had that big one that pretty much got everybody to just shut up. Like I was talking about him nonstop, and yeah, he looked great. So solid performance. They finished the preseason 2-1. Now we're on to the cut. So let's get into it. We got our first round. There are 11 right here. There's 16 total. You got Joshua Bledsoe, Josiah Bronson, Amari Burney, Desmond Evans, Jermari Harris, and Julius Wood. Couple of guys that I was kind of surprised about. They were getting a decent amount of money in guarantees. Matt Landers, TJ Smith, Joe Gaziano, and Arlington Hambright as the first wave of cuts goes down. Now, I will say it's going to get very, very, very hectic until Tuesday at 3 p.m. There are going to be cuts galore. Next thing you know, 1 person, 2 people are going to go down, 5. I will say, Xavier Restrepo, not on this list. But we got you covered, so when the Titans do make cuts, we got you covered with a video, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Well, let's go over just 5 kind of surprising or guys that kind of should take a look in deeper on that first wave. And we got Jha'Quan Jackson and TJ Sheffield as your wide receivers. We'll bunch those together. And I was a little surprised at Jha'Quan Jackson and TJ Sheffield. We'll start with Jha'Quan Jackson. I mean, he was a 2024 draft pick or 2024 undrafted draft pick, but out of Tulane. 1 catch, 8 yards for him in last season. But, I mean, during the preseason, he did not do a single thing. 2 targets, 0 receptions, 0 yards, 0 touchdowns. And he was already moving back there. We knew that the Titans revamped their wide receiver core. You brought in Van Jefferson. You brought in Tyler Lockett. You have Elike Manor now. And I really think that James Prochet and Bryce Oliver are also going to be those wide receivers that make the roster. I thought there was a slight chance that he could make it as a returner. I mean, they named him the unofficial guy on the depth chart before the first preseason game. But overall, it didn't work out for him. He didn't look good at training camp. He didn't look good in preseason when the little few snaps that he was on the field. And it was just like, they have their guys. They're going to get rid of him. And then there was TJ Sheffield, which he really had a big chance to be a part of the 53-man roster, specifically on special teams. But you see that stat right there. Fumbled kickoff versus Atlanta, and that pretty much sealed his fate. Only 37 snaps all preseason long. He was up there with less snaps than Xavier Restrepo. That's how they felt with him on this roster, and I think he really tried to show himself in practice. I mean, he made a couple of catches during training camp, but overall with his preseason performance, he wasn't making this team. He is an undrafted guy, though, so I expect him to be on the practice squad. You get 16 players to be on that, and I expect him to be one of those guys because the Titans, they see development with him, and they see him being a solid returner if you can stop the fumbles, of course. Here's your Titans wide receiver depth chart so far. Like Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, Elike Manor, you still have a bunch of cuts to go. I don't know about Kinsey. Jameer DK is going to be on this. Van Jefferson. But Xavier Restrepo still on this wide receiver room. Are they going to keep him? That could be the question they got until 3 p.m. I'll ask you guys, because they made a lot of cuts at wide receiver. Grade the Titans wide receiver room. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F down in the comments section. Van Jefferson looked good to me. I was like, all right, I need to shut up, because I was talking a lot of trash on him after that Cam Ward drop. I'll give it a C+, B-. Go down in the comments right now. The second roster cut, and this is a veteran. He's been in the league since 2019, and that's Sam Mustipher. And you kind of had to expect this when you saw Lloyd Cushenberry get activated off the PUP list. the Titans were just like, yeah, we don't need 3 centers on the roster. I mean, solid player. I mean, he's been in the league for a long, long, long time. It's just kind of a depth piece. And when he was on the field, I mean, the preseason PFF grades, they're not bad. They're not good. I mean, 51.6 is just eh. Pass blocking, grade 64. That's what I really look at. But no pressures, no penalties. Like, that is your solid player. But when you look at the offensive line, like, he's a center, and Corey Levin has been doing an excellent job as that backup spot, just in case Lord Cushenberry was not ready. But he was not unfortunately for Mustipher, but fortunate for the Titans that Cushenberry was activated off the PUP list. The second that happened, it was kind of the end for Sam Mustipher. Corey Levin is obviously going to be your second center. And coming off an Achilles injury, there was always that possibility. But overall, he was going to be part of those cuts. Maybe he can. I don't expect him to be on any practice squad. I don't think he can be, being that much of a veteran. He'll go be a depth piece somewhere else. But solid guy as being that person, that backup center before Cushenberry has come back to practice. We're going to get to 2 more players here, but first I got to tell you about their sponsor of today's show, and that is Prize Picks. The preseason is over, ladies and gentlemen, and we are on to the regular season. And college football also here, so don't miss any of the action this season on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off, which ones aren't, and make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. They're also offering a max discount for Dak Prescott week 1. So I added that to my lineup, and I want to stick with Tennessee. The more for Calvin Ridley on 925.5 receiving yards. You can't tell me he's not going to get 1,000. He did it last year with Will Levis and Mason Rudolph, and then Tony Pollard coming off 1,000-yard rushing. Give me the more on rushing yards, 900.5. You can make a lineup just like that when you download the Prize Picks app and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link for that will be in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, run your game. Couple of cuts on defense that I just wanted to go over, and it's defensive backs, and we could talk about this was kind of the same exact reason that that's why Sam Mustipher got cut, because we had no idea if L'Jarius Sneed was going to be healthy or not. And the first one we'll talk about is Jalen Kimber. I mean, coming out of Penn State, he was a solid player. I think the Titans really, really, really liked him. But when you have a couple of guys that just have too many defensive backs on this team, like, it was a bit of a surprise. He was the shining moment of rookie minicamp on OTAs. But then once you got into the preseason, he really didn't kind of show off. I mean, a little bit. He also making a ton of money and guaranteed. Like, he was one of the highest paid guys the Titans got to be on just the team. $215,000 in guaranteed money is a lot of money, guys. But I also expect Kimber to be on this practice squad. And also Davion Ross. I mean, coming out of Memphis, solid player. And you see that PFF grade overall for the preseason. 68.7. You have to like that. But there's not enough spots for these guys on this roster. I think you could develop them on the practice squad, but when L'Jarius Sneed was also activated off the PUP list, and he said, yeah, I'm probably going to be ready for week 1, you had to assume that a lot of defensive backs were going to be cut. I mean, you also had Jermari Harris get cut. You had Julius Wood get cut. You had Joshua Bledsoe get cut. Those are all defensive backs. Now you still have Roger McCreary, Jarvis Brownlee Jr., L'Jarius Sneed, and I think Gabe Julie-Lally is also going to be one of those guys that could possibly get cut, but he made the initial wave. We got another wave to go. We got until 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern, where they got to cut down to 53. No exceptions. 53-man roster. Predict a surprise Titans cut candidate. It can be anybody. Who is going to get cut? You make your predictions down in the comments section. Right now, they got 74 players left on the roster, ladies and gentlemen. 21 cuts. Unfortunately, 21 players will not have a job after tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central. But when that does happen, we got you covered with a video. We are going to have the full 53-man roster for you. So make sure you subscribe today. And as always, tighten up.